So this is definitely not the video I thought I would be making. I disappeared for 2 weeks. I haven't posted, I haven't worked, and honestly, I wasn't home. I finally got discharged, and I figured instead of pretending everything is normal, I'd just sit down with y'all and tell you what actually happened. Because if you've been following me for a while, baby, we've got a lot of catching up to do.
I don't wanna wait another minute for you. I know you got me falling from the ceiling for you. Knew it from the start there was no limit to you. And I'm catching feelings, baby.
Hey y'all, it's Destiny Sanai, and I'm back with another video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a friend. It may encourage them. If you've been subscribed, thank you so much for coming back for another video. I truly appreciate it, and hopefully this will give you a little more insight to my life. Right after my birthday, me and my mom decided that we were going to go to the BET Awards. It was going to be a 24-hour trip, very quick, very simple, very easy. We didn't even check a bag. We literally packed a carry-on, a nice big dress, and we said we're about to make some noise in LA. Which we did. Now, honestly, while I was in LA, I started to not feel good, but I wasn't exactly sure what it could be about. We only ate about 2 meals. We slept a lot. We rested. So I just truly wasn't sure why I wasn't feeling good. My stomach was just hurting. It wasn't normal, but it wasn't abnormal either. We went to the BET Awards. We had an absolutely amazing time. I'll see if I can insert like a small recap of what happened out there, or at least some pictures of how amazing we looked.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Only gone for a year, only know like once. Life moves fast when you do what you want. I guess I'm doing what I want. Hope you doing what you want. What you want?
My new bitch look like Tyler Perry, but she don't love me, she too scary. My old bitch fun like Jackie Brown. I wanna know but she too down. Will you be my leading lady? I wanna
Hey man, release these shots.
Right after the BET Awards, I just started fading fast. I mean, on the way to the airport, I just was not feeling good at all. And I knew that there was something wrong, but once again, I wasn't exactly sure what it was. The saxophone's getting loud. The saxophones is getting loud. I thought I just maybe needed to eat, get some rest. Maybe we were just out all day, and that's just all it was. However, no, it wasn't. When we got home, I agreed to help my mom with the cooking class. Y'all, I slept through the entire class. Like, I did not wake up until the class was almost over, and I woke up to throw up. So I knew that there was something wrong, and I thought maybe I have like a stomach bug. I could just sleep it off. It'll be like 24 hours and it'll be okay. I had a personal training session that morning, but because I wasn't feeling well, I skipped it and just got dropped off at home. Before I knew it, it was time to pick my son up from daycare, and I literally could not move out of the bed. I was throwing up, I had diarrhea, it was just a lot. It was a lot going on. I called my mom and I said, hey, I'm not able to pick Zayden up. Do you mind please picking him up for me? She said, okay. My mom always comes through for me, of course. She picked him up and she chose to keep him. So I was so grateful. I laid down, I got more rest. But in between these resting spells, I was waking up, throwing up, having diarrhea. So I figured I have a stomach bug until the middle of the night. It seemed to get worse and worse. And I ended up calling my mom. I was crying and she was like, we need to go to the hospital. Let's just go to the hospital. So not only did she go pick my son up for me, keep him, but she also came to my house, got me, and took me to the hospital. I had to wait over 6 hours. I got there in the middle of the night and I did not get seen until that morning. Like, the sun was out when I got seen. It was very upsetting to me because of the fact that even if you guys think that I just have a stomach bug and things like that, I just feel like there was something more that could have been done. I understand that they have to prioritize, but at the same time, things were worse than we even thought it was. They assumed that it was just a stomach bug basically, day one. They connected me to an IV, got me some fluids, gave me some nausea medicine, and gave me a suppository, which, and basically sent me home. I came home, I came to my mom's house so she could just take care of me, kind of watch me, make sure everything was everything the next day. That next day, it got 10 times worse. I'm throwing up, I have diarrhea, I'm laying in the middle of the floor. All the medicine is making me throw up. Nothing is working. Absolutely nothing is working. The very next day, we had to go back to the ER. I had to be wheeled in. I couldn't stop making this noise. It was like almost like a groan, but I wasn't trying to make it. It's like it was just coming out of my mouth, and it was like, like I remember doing it, but I don't remember making myself do it. It just kept coming out. So I was doing this the entire time. I was throwing up nonstop in the ER. I was crying, I was screaming. It was absolutely horrific. And I feel like that's when they started to take things a little bit more serious. I got back there within about 45 minutes this time, which was totally different than the 6 hours that I had to wait the first night. This time, they chose to do a CT scan on me, which I'm so grateful for. The CT scan results came back and it showed that I had a small touch of colitis. Colitis is inflammation of the inner lining of the colon or large intestine. And honestly, I didn't know what that meant for me. It was confusing, it was painful, and I just wanted it all to be over. And I knew at this point, it was way bigger than a stomach bug. I was in triage basically for about 12 hours that day, and they just treated me for the symptoms that I was having, which was nausea, diarrhea, and they were keeping me on IV fluids, of course. In between this time, different nurses were coming in speaking to me. I had like 2 different nurses that came in to speak to me, but one was a man, and he told me that I needed to eat and try to drink some apple juice, which was fine because I assumed that they needed to get something in me because I was throwing up for the last 2 days and stuff like that. He gave me graham crackers and apple juice. I wasn't able to eat the graham crackers, but he did have me drink the entire apple juice. He told me it was important that I drink it, and so me listening to the doctor, I did. So I drank the apple juice, and I think I fell back to sleep. And then about an hour or so later, the doctor came in. The doctor tells me, hey, we're at the 12-hour mark, and basically, I guess at the 12-hour mark, they have to either admit you or send you home, which is understandable. But he gave me a choice, and he said, do you feel like you're well enough to go home, or do you feel like you may need to be admitted? I'll just tell y'all, I've never been hospitalized. I've never really had to go to the doctor. I've never broken a bone, anything. So in my eyes, I'm just like a kid in this sense. Like I'm very ignorant to what's going on. But I knew that, hey, you guys sent me home yesterday and I came back in here crying and screaming. So I knew I didn't want to go home, but I still wanted to talk it over with my mom. Everybody knows Big Jew runs the show over here, okay? So anything that I have going on, it's getting talked over with her. So I said, can you give me a few minutes and allow me to call my mom? She just walked out the door, which she did. She literally had just left. So he says, okay, he gives me a couple minutes. I call my mom on the phone and I'm talking to her. She says the same thing. At my house, I don't have an IV bag. I don't have anything. So if you feel like you need to stay and be treated and taken care of, then do that. He's giving you the option. So, do what you need to do. While we're talking, a discharge nurse comes in and says, hey, you're being discharged. I'm like, huh? Hello? Like, mind you, I've been asleep all day. I've been throwing up. I'm feeling delirious. I'm like, am I dreaming? Like, is this real? And I'm like, hi, I just spoke to the doctor and he just told me that I was able to call my mom real quick and discuss everything with her and decide if I wanted to be discharged or be admitted. And so she, like, literally, y'all, she has the tape on her hand to like take my IV out. She's like ready to discharge me, like literally ready to kick me out. And she's like, that's not what I was just told. Also, you've been here for 12 hours and you haven't thrown up once. As I'm talking to the nurse, I started tearing up. I'm starting to cry a little bit because I'm like, hey, like, I feel like I'm actually about to throw up right now. And she's like, well, what have you had? And I said, I had apple juice, and the other nurse tried to give me graham crackers. And she's like, why would you drink apple juice? Like, basically trying to blame it on me that I drank apple juice, but the nurse came in and told me that I needed to drink it. So I'm literally trying to follow doctor's orders, and then someone else comes in and says, you weren't, why would you drink that? As if I literally was like, oh, waiter, like, can you bring me apple juice? I did not ask for that. She was just being so nasty though. Like, the way she was speaking to me was as if I was faking. Honestly, what would I gain from faking? What would I gain from laying in this hospital bed all day? I have a house. I have a comfortable bed. Not only did it hurt my feelings, but it also just made me feel like, it made me feel so isolated and alone, and it made me feel targeted. If you know, you know. And I just I've never dealt with that in healthcare before. So I didn't know how to feel. However, Big Jew is still on the phone. She's like, what did she just say? As soon as I heard that come out of her mouth, sick and all, I was like, it's about to go down, okay? I've never seen or heard my mom drive so fast. She came back to the hospital so fast. Y'all, Judy gets there, goes through security, sneaks into the door, and before I knew it, she was in my room. Like, who was that? And I need her name now. Like, she was not playing, y'all. She was not having it at all, and rightfully so. So the doctor ends up coming back in. My mom had a few words with the doctor, and honestly, it was so needed. Like, I was so helpless and down and out of it. I would have never been able to truly advocate for myself or really speak up and speak how I was truly feeling. I was so emotional. I was just literally crying. Bottom line, I ended up getting admitted that night and going upstairs to the hospital. July 1st through the 6th, I stayed at Cape Fear Hoke Hospital. My experience there was not bad. Everybody had really amazing bedside manners, very sweet, very kind. They did what they could. However, they were just not specialists in what was going on, and they weren't even able to figure out what was going on. They were just still treating symptoms. Everybody was treating symptoms, and that was the biggest issue. And thank God for my mom, because she advocated for me, and I ended up getting switched to another hospital. My symptoms were, I had abdominal pain, I was throwing up, even when there was nothing to throw up. I didn't have an appetite, so most of the time I was throwing up like stomach acid and things like that. I had blood in my stool, bowel, like chills and hot flashes. So it was like back and forth. One moment I was hot, one moment I was cold. But the times I was cold, it was like freezing cold. And the times that I was hot, it was like sweating through my clothes hot. I was barely able to move. The only thing I really could do was walk to the bathroom, which was like 2 to 4 steps away. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. It was bad. Thankfully, my mom advocated for me. If you ever are in a situation like this, please don't do it alone. I couldn't imagine not having my mom there to advocate for me. The times that I couldn't even formulate the words of how I was feeling, the times that I didn't even know what to say or how to ask a question. My mom was there, and if we're being honest, it changed whether I lived or died. It did. Shout out to my mom. The hospital that I was at, the doctor basically told us that they've done all they can do, and that's just what it was. Like, they don't know what else to do but except treat the symptoms, which that's what they were doing. If I had stomach pain, they were giving me pain medicine. If I had nausea, they gave me nausea medicine. And they kept me on the IV. That's all they basically did, which just wasn't getting down to the root of it. So they referred me to a GI specialist, which was at another hospital. So I was transferred to another hospital, and that's when things started to get a little messy. So the 6th through the 14th, I stayed at Cape Fear Hospital, the main campus, because they have a GI specialist. And there we started to get some answers, but it still just wasn't enough. And that's once again where advocacy comes in. So they scheduled me for another CT scan, and they basically said the exact same thing. Oh, it's just a touch of colitis. It started with almost like a stomach bug. It would take a few days to clear up. Then it went 7 to 10 days. Then we weren't hearing much of anything at all. They wanted to stop the scans because they didn't want it to be too much radiation. The GI specialist told me that they did not want to do a colonoscopy because they didn't want to basically rip my colon because they had to pump air into it and it was already very inflamed. So they decided to go the route of doing an endoscopy and a flexible sigmoidoscopy. I hope I said that right. Basically, an endoscopy is when they put a camera down your throat, and the flexible sigmoidoscopy, it's like half of a colonoscopy. It's going through the other end, but it's not fully going through your entire colon. It's just going just a little, just enough to see what's going on. First of all, I would just like to say that the women that were downstairs that prepared me for both of these procedures, number one, beautiful Black women. Let's talk about it. Number two, the attitudes were just as beautiful. Like, they both matched up. They were so kind to me. They were extremely sweet. They were extremely caring. And so I wish I had each one of their names. It was 3 ladies downstairs. And I just want to give you your flowers because, oh my goodness, they made me feel so comfortable right before a procedure. It's just something that I will truly never forget. To prepare me for these procedures, I did have to be put to sleep by an anesthesiologist. So we pray. I go through the procedure, and then the doctor comes back. And before I knew it, I was asleep. And before I knew it, I was being woken up. I didn't have any pain. I just wish that I hadn't been woken up. I was just so tired and, just delirious from constantly sleeping in a hospital bed and things like that. One thing I will never forget in life is the doctor coming in and telling me, you have inflammatory bowel disease, but you have ulcerative colitis. It felt like someone had took a knife and stabbed me and twisted it. But then came back to say, during the procedure, your colon looked like ground beef. And he basically said that my colon was destroyed. And he basically told me that my colon was like something he had never seen before. And that was pretty much it. He wasn't harsh about it, but it's harsh to hear regardless. There's no really nice way to say something like that. He told me that it is lifelong. There's no cure for it. And I would be on medication for the rest of my life. I just remember being numb. Like, I remember saying a few times, I want to cry, but I can't. I just couldn't cry as bad as I wanted to because the medication hadn't fully wore off yet. As soon as he left, I just burst into tears. Like, I don't think I've ever cried so hard in my life. And my initial cry was, if there's no cause for this, if there's nothing that I personally have done wrong to my body, why is this happening to me? And then my second question was just the fact that I've always been a very good girl. I grew up in church. I know my faith. I'm very in tune with God. I've always been very straight in line. So why me? And it just felt like God had broke my heart. And I just felt like I didn't deserve it. And that's when the mental battle started. All I could do was be in my head because of the simple fact that I was too scared to do research yet. For the next few days, it was just me and my thoughts. And I never gave up on God, but I did ask multiple times why me? And I'm trying to get myself together. Once the mental battle started, it's like things just dogpiled on me. I lost control of just all my thoughts. I started thinking about having to stop working, and the fact that I hadn't been to work already, but the fact that I don't know when I'm going to be back to work. And worrying about income is such a tough thing. It is so hard because as I'm laying in the bed, there's still daycare being taken out. There's still all of my bills being taken out. They don't stop for anyone. Whether you're hospitalized or not, it does not matter. And I just wondered what next looked like for me because of a chronic illness. But every single day, God reminded me that he's still God in hospital rooms too. God doesn't only show up when life is exciting. He shows up when you're scared. He shows up when you're uncomfortable. He shows up when you're questioning everything. And I don't have every answer today, but I will say that he brought me peace. A peace that surpasses all understanding. And I will never forget the peace that I felt after being in my thoughts. And I knew it just had to have been God. It had to be God. I'm sorry, y'all. I am trying to get myself together, but I just cannot. Oh my goodness. I just took time to pull myself back together, and yeah, let's finish this video. The hardest part about this entire journey was just the fact that I've always been the girl doing something. Hair, business, working, helping people. Then suddenly, nothing. God basically sat me down. When your body forces you to stop, you realize how much of your identity you've attached to being productive. This diagnosis is going to stop me from being in constant fight or flight mode and constantly pushing myself. And honestly, maybe that's for the best. I truly plan to heal, stop pushing myself so hard, and stay stress-free, because the doctor literally told me stress can send you right back to the hospital. And now that I'm out of the hospital, I just plan on learning my body, learning what foods that I can and can't eat, learning what triggers me, and honestly just getting into remission. I've been making sure that I take my medicine and just going through the trial and error. The doctor did not give me any limitations as far as food. It's just something that I have to figure out myself, which makes it kind of hard. But it's definitely a learning journey. It's definitely a process. So This next chapter is just going to be basically about me figuring out my new normal. But something that I realized in the hospital bed is that I truly, genuinely want to create more. I enjoy being a creative, and I feel like I had to let go of that so much because I was so busy behind the chair and so busy pouring into others, pouring into all of my businesses, as well as being a mom. So now that I do have this time off, I truly plan to pour into myself and really get y'all to get to know me. I want y'all to know who Destiny Sanai is outside of all the business things. So from here on out, you'll still get beauty, you'll still get business, you'll still get entrepreneurship, but you'll also get my real life. I'm going to be fully documenting my healing journey, meals, doctor's appointments, and how UC affects me as a 25-year-old day by day. How I plan to run my business from here on out while healing, a lot of behind the scenes, faith-based content, and honest conversation. I don't know exactly what this journey is going to look like, but I do know that I don't want to do it alone. So if you've ever dealt with a health scare, if you're healing, if you're rebuilding, or if you've simply been rooting for me since day one, thank you. I'm so happy to be home, and I'm happy to be back. If you have ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, just know that I see you. I'd love to be connected with people that just get it. I plan to use my platform to help people get it that aren't going through it. If you made it to the end of this video, please comment something encouraging. I need to see it, but also someone else may need to see it that runs across this video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bye, y'all.
I don't wanna wait another minute for you. I know you got me falling from the ceiling for you. Knew it from the start there was no limit to you. And I'm catching feelings, baby.